Welcome to the ETABS tutorial. So today we are going to see the what is basically the ETABS software and how this will work with respect to like our StatPro. If we compare ETABS and StatPro, so ETABS is most used for building analysis, right? So it is the ETABS simulator is simulated three-dimensional analysis of building structures, right? So that is what the full form of the ETABS. So we have two types of definitions. So in StatPro we can use any model, but here we can use only for the buildings, right? So these are some interface models of CSA, CAD, CSA, Revit. So like how we have Autodesk Revit, Autodesk CAD. So like this CSA company will have also had made this essential softwares like planting for CAD and Revit also. So now this is our interface of our ETABS. So here we can see the file, edit menu, everything. So now we will open a new model. So go to new model. So click on the new model. So this is the version of 2019 version. So it is very good version, right? So here we'll get our model, right? So if you want to use the default metric, so we can use, or we can use a model file. So if you want to use which from file which you want to take the units and initial optimization there. So but we will use this built-in settings, like we have to setting, right? It will, if you use the saved or this one, it will automatically set to internationals, right? So for the here what we have to do means for the display units we have to select our metric SI units, right? So we have SI and MK system. This is US. So in our India we will be using SI and MK system. The SI system will contain the, like we will take the force in kilonewtons and the length in meters. If you go to MKS units, we use like feet, inches, foot, pounds, kilograms, like this. So which code should we use for our steel section? If you want to design a steel section, so we are going to use our Indian. So here we have different types of code sections, right? According to the nations. So here we're going to use Indian. So what is the steel code that you want to use for this software? So what you are using it. So here we are using IS 800, right? 2007. So what is the concrete? So concrete code is our IS 456 2000. So now click on OK. So after that we will be getting the grid customization, right? So how many number of grids you want in the X direction and in the Y direction? In the X and Y direction, how many grids we want, right? So spacing of grids. So if you want take number of grids in X direction is 4. So the each one spacing is 8 meters. So you can change here. We go to grid label. So for X direction, what you want to label, like the alphabets or numbers. So we can change it from top to bottom, left to right, everything we can change. So after we have this simple storage. So number of storage. So how many number of storage, right? How many floors you want to do for a building, right? So for that we can take this number of, and what is the typical story height and what is the bottom story height. So like in StatPro we used to use the same height for all the floors, right? But here for different types of building designs we can use the bottom story height is different and the regular story height will be different, right? So like that we can customize over here. So if you want to custom, so we can custom this data, right? So each story height and elevation, the story color, right? So if you want to edit the grid, so you don't want this number of grids, so go to custom grid it and go to grid, edit grid data. So here you can give a name, so as you wish, if you want to give whichever name, or you can left it with the default one, right? So here we have rectangular grids, right? So display grid data as ordinates or display grid as spacing. So this is according to spacing, this is according to grid ordinates. So this is the spacing of each one, right? So here we can able to see, right? A, B, C, D and 1, 2, 3, 4. Along the X we have alphabets, along the Y we have the numericals. So here we can have the reference points. If you add any reference points or reference planes, we can add over here, right? So this is the bubble size. So here we can see the bubble size over here. We can select that and we can also change the color also, right? So here we can see the color has changed. So like that we can change our color. So red. So like this we can change, right? So now if we go here, so if we go from the ordinates, so we have the XY ordinates. So the first starting point will be at 0, 0, right? So for if we take ordinates, so we'll start with 0, 0, right? So that is the base point for everyone, every coordinates which you're going to use. And now, so here we can edit. So it should be visible or no. So if we select no, here we can see it has disappeared, right? On S. So where should be the bubble? At the both ends or none or at the end point, right? So like this we can select the bubble, so whichever we want at which position. So these are the ordinate spacing. So while you are moving along this, so you should, how much distance you want here, so you should be added over here. So the first or last should be 0, right? So whenever you are doing with the grid data, so the first or last ordinate should be 0 because our geometry will start from 0, 0. So if you want to add or if you want to delete this one, you can delete this. So here we have deleted it, right? Same in y coordinates also we can delete. So if I want to change this to 4, so see it has changed, right? So now here I want to change 8 or I want to change it to 10. So we click in where, so it has changed, right? So here also we can add number of, right? I want spacing of 6 and here is 13 and here is 1 to 10, 17, right? So like this we can edit it, right? So after editing all this, so here if you want to change, I want to change into 1000. So here we can change, or if you want to take it as 1500. On enter, automatically it will change, right? So we will select it to default 1250. So when the color is okay, I'm okay with this. So after editing all this grid data, you go to click on OK. So now after editing all our data, so I want this as my 4. So here we have different types, right? So this is a blank structure. So in this blank you won't be getting any grids or any lines. So this is the grid only option. So for buildings we will take this grid only option so that it will be easy for us to draw. So here we have the steel deck. So the steel deck, here we can see, if we click on steel deck, so what is the left edge distance, top edge distance, everything will be shown here. We have to edit. So what is the structural system properties you want to use? So we can add a new property over here only, right? So you can delete all this, right? Delete multiple properties. You can select all this, delete selected properties. So 2 should be at least in this property, right? So if you want any add new property, or you can just modify this also. Go to modify property. So it will automatically show the modifications. So here we have the this type, right? So if we go here and again then add a new material, then go to Indian steel. So we can take the rebar. So I'm taking it to ST415 on OK. So this should be the regular parameters. You won't need to change anything. Click on OK. On OK. So here we can select our HYSD, right? So here we have the some modifications and we can convert it, right? So sectional properties also we can see over here. Click on OK. Click on OK. So like this we can select this, right? So what is the load pattern? The red load, any additional you want to add load. So what will be restrained at bottoms? So it is pinned or fixed supports. So what will be the movement? So if you click on OK, it will automatically generate. So if you want to go to staggered truss, this is also same only, right? You have to change all these properties. So if you go to flat slab, so it is meant for the flat slab, right? We can see in shopping malls and some areas where there will be no beams and right. So here we are getting the slab thickness, column size, including profiles, panels, everything, right? So the diaphragm should be rigid or semi-rigid. If we go to flat slab with perimeter beams, so it is with beams, right? So here we can see with beams. So left edge distance along slab thickness, column size. What is the column size, square or more than with stiffness? So what will the supports? It's a pinned or fixed. You can add it, right? So this is for the waffle slab. These properties will be same like, but some dimensions will be changed. The rib dimensions, load conditions, the fixed supports, everything. So here we have the two-way or ribbed slab. The two-way slab is also called as ribbed slab, right? So what are the transverse loading conditions, slab thickness, everything will open, right? So now we will go to blank and we will see this. Click on OK. So our software will open. So this is a 3D view panel and this is a 2D view, right? So here we can see. So now if you go to here, so here we have the file, we have all the new model open, save, create graphics, everything. You go to edit, if you want to add any 2D structure template, or you can edit the grid story over here, and also you can add the grid joints, you can lock on screen grid system, and if you want to extrude joints or frames, if you want to merge joints or align joints, you can edit the frames by here. If you want to edit the shells, you can edit here. So auto label all. So if you go to view, here we have the 3D view, rubber, so zoom, axis, walk. If you want to make a walk also, you can do it. Go to define. So here is the main one, default one, so that is used for defining all the properties, sectional members, spring properties, diaphragm, strain gauge properties, functions, response, everything will get here. So this is the draw where we can use like that. This is the draw command toolbar. So if you want to draw any straight gauge or reference planes or reference points, everything you can draw here. This is for the selection of any points according to our properties. And if you want to deselect any properties, you can deselect over here. So right, if you go to assign, so this is for the assigning of properties, right? So if you want to apply any restraint diagram, so if you want to apply the assign the like we used to assign the properties to our material in Stanford, like that only we have to assign here. So this is the assign options. So this is the frame loads, cell loads, tendons, gain property, gauge properties, everything. This is the analysis part. If you want to load any references or advanced software options, advanced design and response recovery, everything we will get here. So this is the display options where we can see our design properties. So this is the steel design, concrete, composite beam designs, and shear wall design also, right? Go to options. Here we have different types like the graphics. Or if you want to save, show any graphical preferences, these are the tools and additional plugins. So what we have discussed is the shortcut, the toolbars over here, right? So I'm going to edit, want to add grid lines or grid storage system. You can add a new grid. So like this, right? So here is a vmark column face. So this is the drop in command and this is the draw command, column command, and this is the secondary beams. This for the braces and this for the floor or wall. This is the floor walls and this is the slabs. So area around point and this is the draw. We can draw walls or we can also quick draw walls. So that will automatically draw walls, right? For the shear walls. If you want to draw any wall openings, draw plan links, draw wall stacks, design strips, design dot end downs and slab rebars. So here we have the model explorer. So if you want to explore the project layout, the story grids, the grid system. So what are the materials available over here? If you go to groups over here, so here are the structural objects and these are the loads, functions, response spectrum. So everything we can get over here, right? So here labels and everything we can get over. This is the display table. So here we will get all the plans and limitations. These are the tables and this will be our reports. We go to tables. So here we get the model definition, system data, control data, everything we can see over here, right? So this is the interface and the introduction, guys. In the next part we will see the basic drawings, how we draw using this software. So thank you everyone.